We can all agree that eating out is the better alternative to cooking, usually. But have you ever thought of the other side of things? Have you ever thought of what goes on in your server's head as they're taking your food and your drink order and what all they have to endure throughout their shift? Maybe, maybe not. Well, I'm gonna give you a little insight on that. So in my hand is a checkbook, and this is where I hold all of my tips that I earn throughout the night, or evening or morning, whenever. Because I am a server at RX Pizza, and every Thursday we have trivia nights where families and friends come in and they answer questions off of different categories of questions, and it's a good little experience. Well, this was my first time ever working a trivia night, and I had got sat 3 huge tables of no less than 9. I had just completed my training shifts, so I was still very new to things. And so as I'm taking these huge tables, I'm starting to get a little overwhelmed because this was my first time working a busy night and I just wasn't used to it. And so I'm making their drinks and my eyes are starting to get a little watery because I'm getting just really worked up over the whole situation and I just wasn't really ready for it. And so one of my coworkers goes, "Are you okay?" And those 3 words were my undoing because I immediately started crying because I realized just how demanding this job could be. And so today I'm going to inform you about the responsibilities a server must perform in order to provide an excellent service. And so, why would anyone want to be a server? What is so interesting about this profession that makes someone want to work it? Well, for starters, being a server gives you the opportunity to become a well-rounded individual. Yes, the main point of the job is to make tips because you are only making $2 an hour, but that's not the most important thing that you can take away from this. You are getting to interact with people of different backgrounds, different professions constantly. So understanding this and using these skills can prove useful later in life in your future profession. And so the 3 points I'm going to talk about that go into being a good server are good communication, being able to sell products, and the ability to multitask. So from our first point, being a good communicator, you have to be able to adapt to different customers. So if you have a table of elderly people, you might want to talk a little bit more louder to them and a little bit more slower in explaining what's on the menu, as opposed to younger people who can read very quickly and well. So you have to change depending on who you're talking to. And then you have to be attentive. So like if a family walks in and they have small children, you don't want to have the mom or dad hold the child. You want to go up to them and be like, "Oh, would you like me to bring a high chair so you don't have to hold your kid the entire time while you eat? Or do you want me to bring some dough that they can play with so they can stay distracted while you look at the menu?" Certain instances like that. And then you have to be able to stay positive. You're going to get overwhelmed at times. It's a demanding job. You have to talk to people. People might be mean. They might not be the most friendly, but you have to stay composed at all times because it's not their fault that you chose to be a server. This is your decision in the end, but you have to make the best of it. And then into my next point, the selling of products. You have to know your menu. You have to know what your appetizers are. You have to know your entrees, what your drinks are, what specials y'all have, what's going on. Customers need to know these things and you need to have the knowledge of it because it helps and it makes things easier than going back and looking over the menu because you don't know what's on this or what's in this. It's very helpful. And then with that, I once had a table and the guy asked me, "Oh, I'm interested in getting a drink." And I said, "Okay, well, you can get a drink." And he was like, "Well, what would you recommend?" And I was like, "Well, these are our drinks. They're all pretty good. Everybody likes them." And I wasn't very just definite and assured in my response to him. So he ended up choosing a drink without much of my help because I just didn't know what to say. And so as I'm bringing him the drink, he tells me that he used to be a server back when he was younger, just like I was. And he said that one of the main takeaways that he took from the job was remaining confident or showing confidence. You have to be able to sell things that people would possibly want. You have to make it seem appealing and good. If you're very unsure of what you're saying, customers don't like that. So you have to be confident with what you're selling. And then you have to constantly make food and drink suggestions. That is part of the job. People are coming in that have never eaten there, so they probably don't know what to order. So you have to tell them what is most popular, what is fan favorites and stuff. And you have to listen to what they want. Like maybe they want a vegetarian-based meal. So you have to be able to know like what y'all have in your establishment, and you have to be able to recite that to the customers based off of what they want, what they would like to eat. And then lastly, for my main topic, you have to be able to multitask. Serving, you're going to have multiple tables at one time. You have to be able to take care of all these tables, bring them all their food within a timely manner, because nobody wants to wait on a drink that you put in 20 minutes ago, because it just looks like you're lacking on the job. And then not only that, but you're having to take online orders, you're having to do to-go orders and get all these meals out to where they need to go on top of the tables you're already taking. And then you have to restock supplies. So when the ice starts getting low after making all of those drinks, you have to go refill it. You have to refill cups when there's no more, fold silverware. It's a lot of smaller tasks that all build up. And so you have to be able to manage your time wisely. And so in conclusion, in order to be a successful server, the main things you will need are to be a good communicator, being able to sell products, and being able to multitask. And going back to my trivia night story, one of the tables that I had taken was a group of graduate students. And from that point on, they have come back every trivia night, and I'm usually their server, and they remember my name, and we just talk, and it's a good little time. And it's genuinely good as a server when you have regulars. It makes you feel good. It just shows that people actually shows that you're doing a good job. And so this just demonstrates that you showed good communication, that you were able to sell products efficiently, and that you were able to multitask. Thank you.